And establish prayer and give zakâh, and whatever good you put forward for yourselves, you will find it with Allah. Indeed, Allah of what you do is seeing. Righteousness is not that you turn your faces toward the east or the west, but true righteousness is in one who believes in Allah, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets, and gives wealth, in spite of love for it, to relatives, orphans, the needy, the traveler, those who ask for help and for freeing slaves, and who establishes prayer and gives zakâh, those who fulfill their promise when they promise, and those who are patient in poverty and hardship and during battle. Those are the ones who have been true, and it is those who are the righteous. And He it is who causes gardens to grow, both trellised and untrellised, and palm trees and crops of different kinds of food, and olives and pomegranates, similar and dissimilar. Eat of each of its fruit when it yields, and give its due zakâh on the day of its harvest. And be not excessive. Indeed, He does not like those who commit excess. And they are those who, if we give them authority in the land, establish prayer and give zakâh, and enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. And to Allah belongs the outcome of all matters. And they who are observant of zakâh. And from their properties was given the right of the needy petitioner and the deprived. Zakâh expenditures are only for the poor and for the needy, and for those employed to collect zakâh, and for bringing hearts together for Islam, and for freeing captives or slaves, and for those in debt, and for the cause of Allah, and for the stranded traveler, an obligation imposed by Allah, and Allah is knowing and wise. The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a seed of grain which grows 7 spikes. In each spike is 100 grains. And Allah multiplies His reward for whom He wills, and Allah is all-encompassing and knowing. Those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah and then do not follow up what they have spent with reminders of it or other injury will have their reward with their Lord, and there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. Kind speech and forgiveness are better than charity followed by injury, and Allah is free of need and forbearing. O you who have believed, spend from the good things which you have earned and from that which we have produced for you from the earth. And do not aim toward the defective therefrom, spending from that while you would not take it yourself except with closed eyes. And know that Allah is free of need and praiseworthy. Satan threatens you with poverty and orders you to immorality, while Allah promises you forgiveness from Him and bounty. And Allah is all-encompassing and knowing. He gives wisdom to whom He wills, and whoever has been given wisdom has certainly been given much good, and none will remember except those of understanding. And whatever you spend of expenditures or make of vows, indeed Allah knows of it, and for the wrongdoers there are no helpers. If you disclose your charitable expenditures, they are good, but if you conceal them and give them to the poor, it is better for you, and He will remove from you some of your misdeeds thereby. And Allah, with what you do, is fully acquainted. Not upon you, O Muhammad, is responsibility for their guidance, but Allah guides whom He wills. And whatever good you believers spend is for yourselves, and you do not spend except seeking the countenance of Allah. And whatever you spend of good, it will be fully repaid to you, and you will not be wronged. Charity is for the poor who have been restricted for the cause of Allah, unable to move about in the land. An ignorant person would think them self-sufficient because of their restraint, but you will know them by their characteristic sign. They do not ask people persistently or at all, and whatever you spend of good, indeed, Allah is knowing of it. Those who spend their wealth in Allah's way by night and by day, secretly and publicly, they will have their reward with their Lord. And no fear will there be concerning them, nor will they grieve. Never will you attain the good reward until you spend in the way of Allah from that which you love. And whatever you spend, indeed Allah is knowing of it. And spend in the way of Allah from what we have provided you before death approaches one of you, and he says, "My Lord, if only you would delay me for a brief term, so I would give charity and be among the righteous." And let not those who greedily withhold what Allah has given them of His bounty ever think that it is better for them. Rather, it is worse for them. Their necks will be encircled by what they withheld on the day of resurrection. And to Allah belongs the heritage of the heavens and the earth, and Allah, with what you do, is fully acquainted. O you who have believed, indeed many of the scholars and the monks devour the wealth of people unjustly and avert them from the way of Allah. And those who hoard gold and silver and spend it not in the way of Allah, give them tidings of a painful punishment. Here you are, those invited to spend in the cause of Allah, but among you are those who withhold out of greed, and whoever withholds only withholds benefit from himself, and Allah is the free of need, while you are the needy. And if you turn away, He will replace you with another people, then they will not be the likes of you.